Truthfully, I will be sticking to newer ships. I will be sticking to the newer, more renovated. But you do get what you pay for. Never again. Like, should we stay on this ship with this smell? It was cool while it lasted. Testing. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Today we are doing another cruise review. Before we get started though, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and also turn on your post notifications so that you get notified anytime I post a new video. If you've watched my previous Christmas cruise series vlogs, I just recently, it's been a little over a month. So y'all, I've really been pushing back this review for so long. It's been almost a little over a month since I've gotten back from my Christmas cruise on the Carnival Liberty. I said, let me go ahead and make this review while I'm relaxing today. I'm chilling today, before I forget, you know what I mean? Like before it's all the way in the past. You know, give my true honest thoughts, at least while they're still fresh and I can still remember, and give you guys the best review that I can give. So watch, it's only 4 videos. If you haven't already seen the Christmas cruise vlog, please go back and watch those videos and then come back here and get the final review. A lot of things will make sense once you've seen the entire cruise vlog series. So go back and watch that and then come back here. Let's get started. If you have watched the Christmas cruise vlog series, you would know that I was just recently on a 4-day sailing to the Bahamas from December the 22nd to December the 26th. That did fall in between Christmas, so that was actually a Christmas cruise. It was actually our family cruise. We normally get together for Christmas, so we just end up saying, let's just take a cruise, let's do something different. Ended up visiting Nassau, Bahamas and Princess Keys, Bahamas as well. So it was a quick little 4-day. We left, I think it was a Thursday to a Monday. Something quick, something cheap. And the reason that I'm making this review as well, I mean, I always make reviews for my sailings. This one is very important because if you have not cruised Carnival, or if you're new to cruising Carnival, you know that if you go up and look at a sailing and you want a quick little weekend getaway, if you want a quick 3-day, 4-day, the Liberty shows up. But this was definitely something that it was nice, it was affordable, it was quick, everyone was able to go, didn't have to take too many days off, and it was just really something good to get away for the holidays, something different. And I think for me, just overall cruising during the holidays in general, I am not opposed to it anymore. Like I actually had a Thanksgiving cruise booked, the Jubilee, before it got canceled, but I'm not opposed to traveling during the holidays. So I must say, I must start off with full disclaimer. If you and your family get together every year spending all this money on these gifts, look, take your family on a cruise. The kids will appreciate it. The kids have fun. The adults have fun. So it's something I think overall everyone can benefit from. If you're not new to the channel, you already know that I'm going to have my iPad or my notes and things like that. I've been combining these notes from myself and also my cousin. If you guys remember Nasia, my road dog, Nasia gave her some of her reviews in here as well. So this is definitely something that's not just me being biased, because this is also coming from a first-time cruiser in general. So look, I'm giving y'all the best review there is. So let's get started. I want to start with just embarkation in general. If you remember on the embarkation day video, we did stay at the Embassy Suites in Orlando, Florida. It was really close to the airport, but it was also about 40 minutes from the port, so we had to leave a little early to get there on time and just make sure that we were there and settled. Me and Nasia's check-in time was actually a lot later than our families. I think they had like a 10:30 check-in time or 10 o'clock, and ours, my standard for cruises, I normally pick about 12 because I know that I like to get up, get breakfast, get my life together, and I don't want to be rushing. So I always pick a 12 p.m. cruise time, but we all end up just kind of leaving together. Me and Nasia was a little bit behind, so they were already on the ship. However, we, went a little later, probably like an hour later, but we still were there way before 12. So I noticed that, my previous reviews, I usually say, don't get there too early, don't get there late, make sure you're there at your check-in time. But this was a different scenario, y'all. We ended up getting in, I think, before 11. We ended up boarding way before 11, and it was so interesting because it was nobody really at the port. I'm not sure. They said that this cruise was at full capacity. However, it felt like it was at full capacity at some point. The port wasn't as hectic as it normally as I've seen it to be. With that being said, that was all I knew. But when we got there, we ended up like finessing our way in. we were like, you know, taking videos, taking pictures. Like, you know, y'all know I lost the footage of that first part. I was so sad. But, you know, if you would have seen the footage, we were at the port like, look, it's a little early. We're going to try to finesse our way in. Like, it was a whole plot and scheme.
Well, it could have been a scheme that Todd set up for him to come to you with the booze.
And so we had went to the front, and all he did was like do a quick scan of our boarding pass and just let us through. So I wouldn't say this is gonna be your experience every time, but I think that was very interesting when normally, you know, you have the cruise ports that make sure that they're really more organized with the times, but this time they just kind of let us in, which was really cool. And the next thing I'll say about embarkation day was this is actually the first cruise I've seen where I've seen a canine dog. Okay, y'all, so I don't know if this is just with the recent things that have been going on cruise ships. I don't know if people have been sneaking in things that they're not supposed to, like prohibited items. I'm not sure exactly this new process. I'm not sure if it's only at Port Canaveral or if it's going on at other in other ports. Comment down below if you've seen it at other ports. But this is my first time. I walked in, y'all, so this is me, y'all. I'm just happy to be here. I'm vlogging. And the man was like, you can't record in a federal building. So I'm like, okay. I put the camera away. I start walking. I'm trying to get a little foot. I'm still sneaking it, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Because I was over here like, what you mean? I'm recording my experience. I am a cruise vlogger. Vlogger. Trying to put away the camera, whatever. Next thing you know, I hear, put all your bags and belongings again on the line and then step back. So I'm just like, I'm looking at my cousin because I'm new to, I've never seen this happen. I've never had them sniff, whatever. Long story short, y'all, was actually interesting. One of the girls at the ports did get caught with something that I ain't gonna say, but it was, but embarkation day, for the most part, boarding was pretty quick and fast. They just had the dog run across all our stuff and sniff it really fast and keep it moving. But I will say, if you are cruising out of Port Canaveral, I guess that's a new thing they're doing. I'm not sure if they're implementing it elsewhere. Like I said, if you have seen it elsewhere, comment down below so that we can all inform each other and all be in the loop of what's going on. But I must say, that was pretty quick. Even though it was a whole like put your bag down process, I didn't feel like, you know, we were already there early. I didn't feel rushed. I didn't feel like it took a really long time. Just the check-in process in general, I think that that was pretty swift. If you are leaving out of Port Canaveral, make sure you have your passport. I get a lot of questions about, do I need a passport, you know, to go? I would say, I mean, there's ways around it, like birth certificates and other situations, but honestly, y'all, I would just say get a passport. If you are over the age of 18, or you don't even need to be 18 at this point, but if you are able to cruise and do what you need to do and travel, you should have a passport. Like, please, if you're watching this video, this is your sign to go apply, because I just think it's too much. When you have a passport, you just simply show them, they verify. All this extra documentation is just too much. Like, if you don't have to, let's avoid it, right? Check-in process was awesome. They were really informative. Back into embarkation day, I noticed that a few of you were in the comments letting me know that the new muster drill processes, they have the muster drill stuff on the TV or whatever. The only reason I felt that it was very irresponsible is because like the staff was overwhelmed and just very drained. Like, even if the new processes watched it on TV for the muster drill, the idea that we walked in and the lady was just like, okay, you know how to use a life jacket, all right, bye. And it was kind of like, even if you don't got to do the whole full demonstration, I just feel like it was just giving lazy. Like it's something about it wasn't sitting right with me. It was very much lazy, and I was just like, I'm pretty sure that's not the new process. You know what I mean? If it's honestly, they check you in just to say you showed up and you got to go watch it on your TV, I'm pretty sure there would be some sort of announcement like, hey y'all, what's your muster station? I know she asked us our muster station be, and it should be like, okay, well, I'm gonna mark you down, make sure you go ahead and give me the next instruction. Instruction would be to tell me to go to my room and watch the video, or there should be a way to confirm that I watched it on my video. As cruisers, we hate that whole thing, which is why I'm excited to even get on like a cruise line like Virgin Voyage. I know they definitely have their muster drill on the TV, on the television, and there's a way to note that you have already watched it. So unless it's something like that, I just think the whole idea of just being like, all right, bye, y'all good? We sync, y'all good? Y'all okay? What's so unique about even traveling by plane? It don't matter how many times you've been on a plane, they're gonna give you that spill and show you how to put on the jacket and how to get your oxygen. They gonna it's literally embedded before you even take off. Like, you have to know this stuff. So I think when it comes to cruise ship, I think the idea of getting more lazy, just, okay, y'all good, anybody would say they good just so they can go upstairs. You know, a lot of people really don't like the idea of mustard drills. I personally, I would never get tired of it if it has to do with my safety. Another part of embarkation day that I like, I personally love sail away parties. Sail away parties is where you set the tone. Even when you are at the sail away party, you literally see everyone on your sailing, like everyone on your sailing, because you might not see them day 2. You might see them at day 3 at the club. You really might not see them day 4, but you're gonna see everyone during the sail away party. Sail away party to me was pretty cool. I like that they tried to do some type of Christmas thing. They had thing 1, thing 2. They had the Grinch, you know, they did the whole He's Still at Christmas. But I just feel like overall they could have done a little bit more to just emphasize that this is for the holidays, but that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna get to that. Embarkation day was pretty much the best day in my opinion. It just kind of set the tone. Sail away party was all right. We got to meet our cruise director. We got to really just dance and have a good time. On my previous cruises, normally they'll say the rooms will be ready by 2 and be like, oh, they're not gonna be ready until 1. They're not gonna be ready until 1:30. They'll give us a time, right? And they're always pretty much ready before that. Like, there's been times that literally I went to my room like soon as I boarded because it was already ready. In this particular case, our rooms were really ready at 2. Like, right before the sail away party, we were in our rooms. We finally had access to get to our rooms, and then we were able to go to the sail away party, and the party started. We got some food, and the party started. So I will say this particular time, like, make sure that you're taking more time to plan your carry-on bag, because I'm not sure if this was just for our sailing or Carnival Liberty in general, but they did take a while for your room to be ready. So don't bet on the idea that you've been on previous cruises and your room has been ready right away. So you want to prepare for that and plan for that. Maybe have an extra outfit, have, you know, your essentials, of course. You can go back and watch any of my packing videos, and I always mention your carry-on bag should be those essential things and those essential items. I will say that took a while, but you know, we were pretty good. We were at the bar. We ended up moving on about our day, getting some food, so that was pretty cool. Next category I want to discuss is just the layout design of the ship. I always like to get into this because this is something very important. Like, if you've cruised Carnival, you know that Carnival ships pretty much all favor each other in a way. Like, they have their different things about them, but they pretty much keep the same flow, the same, you know, you have your promenade area. Even on other ships like Royal Caribbean, they all have that promenade area, that like Lido deck, you know, staterooms in between. They have their little restaurants on like in between floors. So the layout is pretty much all the same. But I will say that because this ship is a lot older, one of the oldest ships that is still operating, the charm was different. I like the charm. Personally, I like the charm of it. It was a little dim. It wasn't as bright. It wasn't as airy as other newer ships. However, the charm was definitely there. And there were things about it that you were able to appreciate. The design was just really unique. I've never seen that. Even on an older ship. Well, the Valor, when I went on there, was actually just recently renovated by the time I got on there. However, it still had that older charm. Like, you could still tell that it's an older ship. I would definitely say, obviously, this is a smaller ship. It was a smaller ship, and it showed. It's actually easy to get to everything. Everything is pretty much on the same deck. I know, like, for the Liberty, if I remember correctly, Promenade is on 5. Lido was on 9. 9, 10, and 11. Staterooms in between. You had even your karaoke and things like that was on like 4 aft. Like, everything was pretty much a deck apart. I know I stayed on deck 6. So there were things like that I really appreciated about being on a smaller ship. However, the whole idea of being smaller is not that exciting to me. And I just think that, like, while smaller ships are easier to navigate and easier to remember and get around, especially if you're a first-time cruiser, I just think as a cruiser, if you enjoy the element of cruising, smaller ships don't really suffice. They don't really do what they're supposed to do. They did what it's supposed to do in terms of like being a quick little getaway, you know, something quick, something easy. So that I really did appreciate. One thing I could not deal when it came to this ship was the smell. That smell was something different. Like, I'm not sure if it was a sewage issue. I didn't know. Like, it was almost to the point where, like, what is going on? Is everything fine before we sail away? Like, the odor was just so strong on the ship, and I didn't really understand why. But after a while, I just realized that's just what comes with older ships. So that was just something that I mentioned in the beginning. Why personally, I know for me, I've been on some of the newer ships, so I don't like that. It was just very stank. Like, it's going on, and we'll just smell it occasionally. Like, we'll be walking to an event and we're like, oh, like, y'all smell that? The smell was terrible, y'all. I don't know what was going on. It was absolutely terrible. And I will say that, you know, things like this are important to mention because it does contribute to how you enjoy your cruise. Like, if you smell something stink 24/7, you might have a bad experience even if you're having fun on the ship or the things that you're doing are fun. The smell was very disturbing. If you guys see my first embarkation day video, y'all already know the first thing I said was, y'all smell that?
Deck 4. It's such a terrible smell. I don't know what that is. It stinks. It like really does stink.
I don't feel like it was Christmas enough. I did mention this in my Princess Keys video, that literally other than the tree and a few little ornaments they had around the staircase, I didn't feel like, it did not feel like Christmas to me. I mean, those small little things where they had the Grinch and, you know, things like that. Even at our first sea day, they did have a nice tribute. That was the most Christmas they have done, the entire 4 days. And it actually did feel good. It felt like Christmas. It felt like the holidays. It felt like family. It felt like Santa Claus. I felt that. You know, they had the songs going on. You know, the kids from Camp Ocean, they were practicing when they went there. And it was just a way to showcase. It just felt really intimate, and it felt like they were actually putting forth the effort. That was the most they've done though. But other than the tree, I feel like the activities could have been more geared towards the holidays. Maybe this is just my personal opinion, you know. Everyone doesn't feel the same about this. Some people probably had a great time. But for me, you know, if I'm gonna spend time on a smaller, stank, not that much to do ship, I need to see more effort towards the sailing. I just felt like they kind of were very lazy with it. Even as far as the music playing throughout the day, some people don't really care about Christmas, so it's like, okay, whatever. But for me, I would have rather them play like Christmas music. Even the people that were performing, you know, throughout the day, they could have had them sing some Christmas songs. Like, I don't know, it just did not feel like Christmas to me. I actually at one point forgot, and I woke up on Christmas Day, and I just kind of felt like, okay, let me put on my shirt, but I didn't feel the spirit at all. Wish they put more effort as far as the holidays. I know other ships do put forth more effort when you do travel during the holidays, like Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. I know that those are things that I've seen the effort there. So I really did like the Christmas show. I think there was something different, and personally, you know, me going through the first 3 days, seeing that nothing was really dedicated towards Christmas and the holidays, this was really a breath of fresh air. Like, seeing the kids up there was really exciting. Like, seeing them, you know, sing their songs and do their little dances and things that they've and I just think that it was something, like, just something to bring everyone together. They gave out these cute Christmas hats. You know, y'all couldn't fit over my wig, but that's neither here nor there. But Christmas Day was like the day that kind of brought everything together. I can't help, like, as a cruise vlogger, I know that I'm gonna make these reviews, and as I'm going along, you know, I try to just let everything play out so that I can get a full capture of everything. And a lot of things that I felt the first 2 days, I still felt by day 4. Like, by the time we were leaving the ship, I still felt the same about the ship, and I still felt like I would never get back on here again. The entertainment definitely is something that could have changed my mind, and it didn't. Like, if we had a funny comedian, oh, that would have been like, that would have been the greatest thing ever. Like, if we had good comedy, if we had good shows, if they even played, in my opinion, played good movies. There weren't a lot of good movies. They had, you know, movie times throughout the day, but I don't personally think the movies were good, and they could have at least put more effort towards playing more Christmas movies. Let's get into the room, y'all. So this is so funny. The room was good for what it was. A lot of things in our room was not working. On top of our room steward, I just feel like they weren't as involved or as helpful as I've seen them to be. Personally, our safe was not working. The safe was not opening. The fridge was doing...
Here is the... Ooh.
Something.
There's a little lopsided. Okay.
It was just not... It was out of place. It was out of pocket. It was out of socket. The fridge was just doing what it wanted to do at that point. But it did keep our stuff cold. You know what I'm saying? So let me just hush. The most comfortable thing, the two things that I like most about our, well, 3 things that I like most about our cabin was there was a lot of closet space. If you guys remember, I'm actually going to add some footage in here. We actually had like 2 separate closets, and then we had like some shelves. So that was really good. And then we had some drawers, you know, by the vanity area. So that was good. We had a ton of space to put our things out Another thing I like in regards to spacing was the bathroom. Now the bathroom itself isn't as large as it could be. I do love any cruise ship that has the two dual like sides where you can put your stuff and separate your stuff. I think that was really cool. I personally cruise solo and I like cruising solo, but this is the first time I've ever like stayed with someone, and it did not feel like our stuff was cluttered. It didn't feel like we were like bumping into each other. Like it was cool. Like I like the spacing of everything. We were able to, you know, kind of keep everything separate, and that was my favorite part. Another thing that I liked about it was the beds. The beds were really comfortable. I don't know what is in those sheets, but I always get a good night's sleep on Carnival ships. I mean, that's just what it is. It don't matter if the ship is old, small, large, big, stank, not stank, but the sheets were really cool. So I got some really good sleep at room. One thing I must mention, y'all, if y'all seen in my previous packing videos, I always bring my non-surge protector, y'all. This was the first cruise I did not bring my non-surge protector, and it's so interesting because I did not need it on the other cruises. I always bring it and I didn't need it. It stayed in my suitcase, right? But this particular time I actually came into a situation where there was only one socket, one outlet, y'all, one outlet. And me and my cousin over here tussling for the, we like, oh, you good? You want 10%? Oh, you good? All right, I need charge. You need charge? All right, I gotta charge my camera though, but you got it. Like, it was a whole thing, and it's like I was so upset that I did not bring that. Like, literally my non-surge protector, if I can show y'all, it's right here. But it has two big chargers and 3 USB ports. Like, literally, I can't believe that I forgot it. But cool, because I did end up bringing my laptop, so I just ended up plugging the laptop in, using that, plugging the USBs. It was a whole situation, but I definitely could have avoided it. It would have been a lot easier. But I will say on the Carnival Liberty, y'all, one outlet. It is one outlet, so plan accordingly. So I know for this particular time I did have my camera with me, so I brought my laptop, my camera, had an Apple Watch, I had a phone, my cousin had a phone, she had a portable charger. Like, it was a lot going on that I'm just like, I can't believe, y'all, I forgot this non-surge protector. It worked because that's what we do, baby. That's what we do. We make it work. This one is actually, I got off Amazon. I like that it has USBs as well. One thing I want to add about the room steward, y'all, was that I didn't really see the room steward. Now, normally when I'm on cruises, the room steward is almost to the point, and y'all don't take this offensive because I love the room steward. I love what they do. I appreciate the employees and everything they do, but sometimes they're damn near like annoying. Like they come every 5 minutes. You over here trying to sleep in and they're like knocking on the day, and it's just be like, okay, I'm asleep. Like, that's why sometimes I learned to just put the do not disturb on there because they will really disturb you. Okay, this particular time I didn't see our room steward a lot. We actually did know his name for real. Like, I kept asking my cousin, she kept asking me. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, they make themselves known because you have to understand these people do, you know, even though they do their jobs and our gratuities and things like that are being paying for this type of stuff, they work for tips and they appreciate, you know, they do the best that they can so that they can eventually get a tip, get an additional tip. Like, listen, so for him, I think we had a guy. I remember the only time I spoke to him, y'all, was when the safe wasn't opening, and I seen him walking the hallway. I'm like, hey, like, our safe isn't working. He said, okay, I'll come fix it for you. We never seen him. He never came back. Like, we just like, okay, I guess the safe just not gonna work. So the next thing that I want to talk about is the food, y'all. So the food, I'm actually excited about this category because I have more pros than cons. The food was pretty good. I mean, one thing, and this is coming from my cousin who it was her first cruise ever. She loved that the dining room had something new every night, and I personally can agree. Like, I loved on any cruise ship when they switch up the menu and there are various options. I think it was actually, I know for me, it was my first time trying like ribeye tartare. I got to try, my cousin got to try frog legs for the first time. Everything was pretty cool. Like, we got to really just try different things, and the good thing about going to the dining room, y'all, I know a lot of people don't like going to the dining room, but going to the dining room, you get to try different things. Like, if you say, okay, I didn't like this, can I get something else? I know for me, when I tried the ribeye tartare, when I ordered it, I let him know that was my first time. So he asked me, you know, can I bring you something else? And I really appreciated that because it's not one of those things where you just get one plate and if you don't like it, okay, like, bye. More of a thing of they really want to make sure that you're satisfied when you leave there because, you know, they depend on service. I mean, they depend on good service. That's one thing I did like personally about going to the dining room. I like that I was able to try different things each night. One thing about the dining room, y'all, is you do get an appetizer, you get a main course, you get a dessert. You can order drinks there if you want. That is an upcharge, but however, you're able to just sit down and have a nice meal. I really appreciated that. One of my favorite people that worked in dining room, y'all, was Wendy. I'm going to insert a picture with her. She was so nice. That's our girl. We seen her in the port in Princess Keys. Like, she was just, she deserves extra. Like, whatever she gonna get in life, she deserves it. She is like her personality was so bubbly. Her personality was so cool, so chill. She wanted to make sure that we were good. And she made an effort to make herself personable, and I love that about her. So shout out to you, Wendy, if you're watching this. I think the wait times were definitely longer than normal. You know, they do the thing through the app now where you can, you know, reserve, say if they have a 10-minute wait, they'll have 10-minute wait, reserve, and they'll let you know when your table is ready. I know in a lot of cases, because me and Nasia, we end up going to the dining room a lot, we'll check in and it'll say 10-minute wait, and then after 10 minutes, we still don't get a notification, so we're like, okay, let's just go. So we'll go and we'll still be waiting while we're there. So, normally, sometimes they say 10-minute wait, and they'll hit you up in like 3 minutes, like your table's ready. In this case, the wait times are just extremely long. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if it was a new menu. I don't know if it was because it was the holidays. I don't know if it was because we were at full capacity. But it definitely just took extremely long to get seated. I personally, my only con about the food in general is, for me, it was the C-Day brunch. C-Day brunch, as y'all know, C-Day brunch is C-Day brunch. If you cruise Carnival, you know C-Day brunch is like literally a must. It's the staple of a good C-Day. It's like to set the tone, everything. I think the C-Day brunch was just poorly plated, poorly put together. Like, normally I'll get the nice crinkly fries with my little filet mignon with my little fried eggs and my tomato on the side and a little bit of spinach. Like, on previous cruises it's been the same, so I assumed that I would get the same thing. However, I'm about to insert a pic. My eggs, you know, real hard, you know what I mean, no run. The filet mignon was pretty good, I give them that. But it was no spinach on my plate, no tomatoes, and the fries were different. You know, them crinkly fries hit different than the regular fries. And it might sound like I'm complaining, but y'all, that's a big deal. C-Day brunch wasn't as good as I've seen it to be, but also, like, for someone like Nasia, it was her first time. She enjoyed it. I think she had like an eggs Benedict, I think it was like an eggs Benedict or something. I can't really remember, but yeah. But other than that, I loved everything. You know, you got your staple, your blue iguana, your what is that? Guy's Burger joint. That was pretty good. So it had enough for what it was. I'm not expecting, like, on the newer ships like the Mardi Gras celebration, they have the street eats. Like, I'm not one of those that's gonna say the food sucked because they don't have those additions. You know, like, these are things that comes with newer ships. Like, you're gonna get a better dining experience. You're gonna get a more enhanced menu. You're gonna get different options. You're gonna get different places that you can eat throughout the ship without just going to the buffet or the dining room or the main dining room. So I'm not comparing it in that way. I'm just comparing to what I've seen at C-Day brunch, and I did not like it. But for what it was, this is actually my first cruise eating at Blue Iguanas. I feel like every time I try to go on another ship, it's either closed or I'm late. Like, I don't really know exactly the deal, but I've never eaten there. But the breakfast was pretty good from there. Like, the breakfast burritos were pretty good. So the food for me, I still rated it like a 9 out of 10. It still had enough options where you didn't have to go to the dining room, which was really good. The Liberty, the one thing I can say as far as not having a lot of options, you can literally tell that the lines were so long, like wrapping around the Lido deck. It was crazy. Like, between Guy's Burgers and Blue Iguanas, I know for me, and you know, the lines were just really long. Or, you know, because the Liberty doesn't have as many food options, you will get that influx of just people wanting to eat, and that's probably the only thing open at that time. I did try Carnival Deli for the first time. That was really good. I enjoyed that. But, you know, when the buffet closed, I think in this particular case the buffet was closed, so all we had was that and like Seafood Shack. But the Carnival Deli was pretty good. It was something new for me as well. So the food, I would definitely rate a 9 out of 10. Like, the food was pretty good. The food was okay. My favorite things to do when I get on these ships is going to the Alchemy Bar. The Alchemy Bar is everything for me. And I even felt like, if you don't already know, it's different from like the regular bars where you get your regular drinks. The Alchemy Bar, they do handcrafted drinks. I know even like one of my cousins, she had like a drink with fire on it. Like, it's supposed to be, some of the drinks are smoky, some of the drinks are, they make them a little different. So, you know, if you ever watch any cruise vlogs, you know that the Alchemy Bar is where you need to be. And so for me, I was definitely trying to get that content. What's going on with this? And the man automatically, before we even sat, I don't even think I got my butt in the chair all the way. He was like, no recording. Like he was like, no recording behind the bar. You know, you respect rules, but I feel like people pick and choose. You can record at the Alchemy Bar. Like, I don't know when that, I don't know if the new rule is just implemented. Like I said, I always give y'all the opportunity to let me know if I'm tripping. They are making drinks that are unique. I mean, you want to capture the experience. Like, at this point, when I didn't get my butt in the chair all the way correctly, and he said no recording behind the bar, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to miss all the good action for these good drinks. So I just ended up turning the camera towards us. I don't know if anything happened or anything. The vibe of the ship, the overall vibe of the ship. I love that there were so many families on this cruise. I love that there were a lot of families personally. I love that it was exactly what I mentioned in the beginning of the video, a quick getaway. You can tell that, you know, there were families that, you know, wanted to do something for the holidays. And you're looking at the Carnival Liberty, most likely they're going to the Nassau Bahamas, Princess Keys. I'm trying to, do they go to, I think they go to Bimini, and just Bahamas is pretty much where they go and do the shorter sailings, which I mentioned in the beginning. The Porto Call was pretty fun. Like in Nassau, I ended up doing Senior Frogs, you know, went there. They had a lot of shots going around, so y'all go back and watch that vlog. I had really fun with that. As far as Princess Keys, I may make a separate video for this because I absolutely hated the process of getting to Princess Keys, but the island overall was really fun. The island was it was just something nice. For me, I love the beach. I like that you can use your sailing sign card on the port when you're buying drinks and things like that. They'll just connect it to your sailing sign and charge that. You have to bring a lot of cash out. You don't have to, you know, unless you want to buy things for the vendors, but the food was free. So I really appreciate that. Was actually my first time in Princess Keys, so I really did enjoy that part of it. I like that Nassau is developing. Like, if you guys remember Nassau, when Nassau was just like dirt, it is really coming together. So I'm really excited. You know, I personally don't like going to Nassau. I know that, you know, people say it's underrated, and it is a lot to do. I'm not gonna say it's not a lot to do, but I will say it's something very frequent. Like, I would love to do more sailings outside of just the Bahamas, and I feel like the Bahamas is so easy to get to that it's just all your sailings are at least gonna go to Bahamas at least one time. I like that the Nassau port is not so hectic. I know before it was just too much going around in a circle to out the port. I'll make a separate video for Princess Keys. Well, let me know if you want a separate video for Princess Keys, because I really have to explain that more in depth. And I think it's important for people to know before they do book. So I might be doing a separate video for that. But overall, the ports are called for the 4-day sailing. We got to hit 2 ports, which is rare. Sometimes they really only hit 1 port, you know, when you're on a 3 or 4 day sailing, because the rest are just sea days. But we only had 1 sea day, which actually ended up being Christmas. So hey, I was good with it. So in addition, my overall experience though was very enhanced towards the end. If you guys seen the vlogs, you would know that I did end up getting a Swedish massage. The Swedish massage was really, really good. Like, I was so relaxed, y'all. I was just really like, oh my God, like this really was the highlight. I feel like I was so stressed, I was so overwhelmed, and I really did need that massage. Like, that massage was everything. I don't know if you guys look at the vlog, kind of testing to like the newly renovated ships, the newer ships, I just feel like the spa and things could have been a little bit more enhanced. It was like a random shower. I feel like that was like a shower room, and they just threw a bed in there. Like, I don't know, it just was too much going on, and it just felt like it didn't give the is it an ambiance? Is that the word, ambiance? Like, it didn't give the feels that you would get going into like a massage room or anything like that. So that was my only con about that. But the spa was pretty cool. I got a chance to take a cycling class for the first time, which was really different. If you see in that vlog, being on the smaller ship was really a way for us to really just all be together. Like I said earlier, we normally get together for Christmas anyway, so I was not shocked that I seen a lot of families. It was actually really good to watch. Everyone had on their shirts. Everyone was feeling good. That the Wi-Fi was absolutely trash. Like, the Wi-Fi was so trash, and I ended up getting a premium because I like to edit while I'm on board, and I also like to post while I'm on board in real time. And the Wi-Fi was trash. Like, I had to get a refund and everything. It was absolutely crazy. I was in guest services line on Christmas Day trying to get my money back because I just think it's getting out of hand. And I'll probably make a separate video just for that, because they are doing increases with the Wi-Fi, which I'm very unsure of why and who and why and what's going on with that. But yeah, this was the second time I had to get a refund back for the Wi-Fi. So that's neither here nor there. But overall, I would say I would definitely recommend this ship for anyone who's a first-time cruiser that wants to do a quick little getaway. Carnival Liberty tends to be the cheaper cruises, tends to be the shorter cruises, so you do get what you pay for. But for me personally, you will probably never see me on the Carnival Liberty again. I'll even throw the Conquest in there. I know the Conquest, like, how I get in it, but no, respectfully, you will see me on the newer ships. It's something about the newer ships or even the newly renovated ships that just gives different feels and it adds to your cruise experience. And I just hate being on the older, smaller ships where things are broken and things are not working, or things are just, it's just too much. Like, you pay too much of your hard-earned money. But I will say overall, it was good for what it was. But that one thing that I would say the best thing I liked about the Carnival Liberty was the fact that it was easy to get around. I would say definitely for my cousins who, I think, well, I know Nasia was her first cruise. I'm not sure about the other ones if they was their first cruise. But for someone that's a first-time cruiser, everything was pretty much easy to get around. I would say by day 2, my cousin was like a pro. Like, she knew where stuff was at. She knew where we were going, and that was cool. So from a new cruise perspective, that was really good. But for me, I would rather the larger ships all day. And even though I did say in my Mardi Gras review that it was very difficult to know where everything was, I actually enjoyed that better than things being too close together. Like there's really no way to explore, like nothing to really explore because there's not much on the ship. So I would definitely say it is what it is. But I definitely enjoyed the food. I enjoyed the nightclub was my favorite part. I think that really just tied everything together. I loved being in there. I do wish they could have did better with the entertainment. The food, I would give a 10 out of 10. I got to try different new desserts. I got to try different foods. I got to try different, drinks. So overall, my experience on the ship was pretty cool. That smell definitely did it for me. And the reason I mentioned the smell off gate is because that does add to your cruise experience. Like, you can't just have the most fun and you over here smelling something out the side. Like, what is that? Who did what and who? I hope this wasn't a video where I sound like I'm complaining, y'all. But I really, never again. Never again. It was good for what it was. I had a good time. I got a chance to be with my family. I got a chance to see my cousin cruise for the first time. It's only up for her. But respectfully, yeah, you won't be seeing me on there. But if you guys have any questions about my experience on the Carnival Liberty, if you have any questions about anything, feel free. I comment back, y'all. So y'all leave me the questions. Y'all leave me order. I would be glad to answer your questions. Thank you for watching this video. If you made it to the end of the video, leave like a brown heart or something. Leave me a heart in the comments. But I will see you guys on the next video. I appreciate you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Also turn on your post notifications so that you get notified anytime I post a new video. And also comment any questions you have down below, and I'll be ecstatic to give you my experience and to help you out. But until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye.